What's going on, everybody? My name is Aliyes Dell, and thank you for checking out this video. Today we are going to be reviewing the FiFine Technologies K038 wireless microphone bundle. Now you get a lot for what you're paying for. It comes in at $86 on Amazon, and it was designed for churches, weddings, presentations, and school plays of that matter. Now, I don't do any of that. I actually have this YouTube channel that I'm running, as well as a podcast that I run with some friends. So that's where I'm going to put it to the test for traditional YouTube videos, for talking heads, stuff like this, as well as my podcast. If you're interested, the link is in the description below. So with that out of the way, let's get started. In the box, you'll find a thank you message from the company, as well as the owner's guide and manual, one receiver, 2 headset microphones, and then you'll get 2 body transmitters, 2 lavalier microphones, and all of the essential cables. These are the 2 antennas. They are fully articulating, left, right, up, down, for however you need your setup to go. And then starting from left to right, we have our DC, so power. Plug that in right there. Right here, next to that is your auxiliary out. That's to get your voice out. And then the R+L out is how you would get your voice as well as music if you have music. And if you want to use music, you're going to use this in one for here. So you can plug in your phone or an MP3 player using a small 3.5 millimeter jack like this one from here to the phone and play music, and then you can do this one out to like a speaker, or the smaller one out to a recording device such as a mixer or a field recorder. Now moving on to the front of it, you turn it on by pressing it once in the middle. And then left to right, the mic A and the mic D are if you purchase the external wireless handheld microphones, which are not a part of the K038 kit. And those will be adjusted by the volume A and the volume D knob, whereas the 2 microphones that were included were the volume B and C, which come from the wireless transmitters, mic B, mic C, and those can be modified to either use the headset version or the lav mic. Now, if you wanted, you can add an echo. I don't know why you would want that exactly, but I'll give you a preview of what that sounds like. And then also, if you have a music going into it, you can also adjust that using this knob here. When you're finished, hold it to turn off. Alright, and this is going to be the microphone test for the lavalier mic. It's right here on my shirt. I'm going to try not to move too much because it is very sensitive. And anytime I make any sort of movement that will move the shirt or put any like pressure or like wind on the microphone itself, it really picks it up very easily and makes it like kind of a distorted noise. Now this is right here on my collar of my t-shirt, talking at a somewhat normal range, and the way I have it set up right now is the lav mic is plugged into my wireless receiver. Receiver is going to the transmitter. The transmitter is outputting it to my Zoom H6 recorder, where I am recording the audio for this right now. Now I can turn it up a little bit, but I don't recommend that because the higher volume you go, the more like background noise and really just background noise that you get, and you don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record at a lower volume, and then in post I'll bump it up. So just to give you an idea of kind of what I'm talking about, here's what it sounds like if I increase the audio like input or whatever. So as I go up, you can see, or hear rather, that there's a lot of background noise. Alright, I'm going to bring it back down on the recorder, and then on the transmitter there is an echo button. So I'm turning the echo button up, I'm maxing it out all the way, echo, and shutting it off. Now I'm not exactly sure why you would want an echo, but considering this is intended for churches, presentations, schools, and weddings, maybe there's more of a reason for that, but I don't do any of that. So that's why I'm using the microphone in terms of a YouTube video / podcasting setup, and you'll see a few more examples here in just a minute. Alright, now I am using the microphone that goes on the head, the headset mic if you will, as opposed to the lavalier mic. And one thing you'll notice right off the bat is it's a lot louder, a little easier to hear, although super sensitive as well. You gotta really watch the way you talk, because if you say certain words or breathe heavily, it will pick that up unless you turn your volume down, but then it's not picking up your volume and then it kind of defeats the purpose. So this microphone in comparison to the lav mic is louder, which I like. What I don't like about it, however, is that the plosives are extremely powerful. So if you say words like popcorn or butter or pimple, whatever, just kind of words with like a p or a b, it really hits hard. And also, depending kind of on the scenario you have and your breathing pattern, if you're breathing somewhat heavily or loudly, it will be able to pick it up. So here's a quick breathing test, just a regular voice or volume, sorry. Okay, now here's a big breath. So, you know, I'm sorry if this sounds super loud. I'm gonna try to make it not so bad, but here's a loud noise. So it's probably just like a bunch of wind in your ear, and I apologize for that, but I just want to give you an example of what the microphones sound like. Now, I do want to take into account that I am in a closed studio environment, so I have, you know, the microphone, the receiver, the transmitter, the recorder, the camera, some lights. I got my computer in the background, so like a lot is going on, and it might vary depending where you are, the surroundings you have, the interference in your range, to determine the quality of the recording. Something else you could probably do is, instead of routing out the receiver to a recorder like I'm doing, you could probably plug that into a mixer and fine tune those audio settings to get what you want it to be. Okay, so that's going to be the two microphone audio tests for these two microphones. Real quick, I'm going to talk about a couple of other things really quick, and then we'll get into the ending of the video, I suppose. All right, back to you. Okay, we are back on the iPhone really quick to show you my podcast setup or / YouTube recording setup using the microphone. So traditionally, you just plug this into a speaker, and that's going to be your audio source. But if you want to record it like I am, here's how I do it. First of all, the receiver is plugged into an outlet that gives it power. Then the auxiliary cord goes from the receiver to my H6 Zoom recorder, and then that is plugged into the second port. Now, for some reason, when I use the first port, I got a lot of feedback and weird static, so I switched it to the second one and had no issues. Now, I'm actually using the microphone right now as I'm talking, not for this video, but I'm using it still. And you can see the audio levels on the number 2 are moving as I talk, okay? Now, I also use this input for the headset so I can monitor how I sound, but obviously not when I'm recording the video. This is just for precautionary. Okay, so that's how you would record it if you want to record just the audio straight like that. Now, there's a second option you can do where you record straight into your camera, right? So, back again. The receiver's plugged in using power, and then instead of the aux cord, I'm going to use the auxiliary to 3.5 millimeter jack. Or no, sorry, just the 3.5 to 3.5 into the R plus L out. So that cord goes into my camera right there. Now, on here, I'll show you the screen. When I go to my sound recording, as I'm talking, you can see that the audio levels are going up, and that is plugged straight into my lav mic, and that is where that's coming from. So it's not recording any other audio except for the lav mic. So that's how you would go about recording audio, either straight to your camera or straight to a recorder. Alright, and we are back on the camera. Now, I just showed you how I would set this up for this exact video, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually having the lav mic plugged straight into the camera, so let me know if you can hear a difference. Does it sound better? Does it sound worse? About the same. Something I did realize while editing this video is when I did the last lav mic test, I had it facing, to the left as opposed to facing up, which is something you definitely want to do when you're using this microphone. You want to have it as close to your mouth and also facing that direction. Now, one of the weird things about a lav mic is positioning, right? I'm wearing like a tank top. Yesterday I was wearing a t-shirt, and it only goes so high. Whereas if I were to hold it like a tiny microphone, I'm sure it sounds significantly better. You still get a lot of those plosives and maybe some breathing, but very lightly compared to the headset microphone. I like the way this sounds right here. Again, the only negative is you have to hold it. Now, if you're wearing like a polo or something with a collar, then maybe you could attach it to one of those collars and it'll be really close to your mouth and facing the right way. It should sound pretty good, I think. Of course, depending on your audio settings may change that. Now, one thing I did not get the chance to do is test this outdoors, and I'll get into that in just a second. So let's go ahead and go over some pros and cons of this, the bundle, the K038 set. So first pro is price. For $86, you're getting a receiver, 2 transmitters, 4 microphones, and a bunch of cables. That's really good. I really like that aspect of it. Moving on, the utility. Now you can use this for a variety of different things, from weddings to plays, presentations, YouTube videos, even podcasts if you really wanted to, which is really great. Next is variety, which is kind of like utility, but you can have so much variety with this. You can use the headset mic with a lav mic. You can switch it around. You could do one for something, one for the other. You can input music into the transmitter or the receiver, sorry, and then you can also add echo. Again, I don't know why you would want or need echo, maybe for music or something, but having it as an option is definitely a plus, right? So that's all the pros. Now there are some cons. I only got 2 really, but one of them could be adjusted, so let's just get into it. Con number 1, the headset, not the lav mic, but the actual headset microphone. I found that the plosives were really bad. The breathing was very easily picked up, which I didn't like. Again, that could have been just my positioning of it wasn't proper. Maybe I should have had it further away, higher up, lower, something like that. If you know a way to fix that, let me know in the comments down below. But during my testing, that's kind of what I got. However, it was louder, which I did like, but again, plosive and breathing kind of mitigate that. Now the second con is that it's not very mobile. This is something you kind of have to set up in one spot, and you're kind of stuck to that, which isn't bad in itself. It just really depends on what you're using it for, I suppose. So again, if I was doing like a wedding or a play or anything like that, and all I have to do is plug it into one spot and leave it, and then the wireless is the mobility of it, which I understand that. The only con that I found to it is the lack of mobility. For example, I wanted to go outside and do a outdoors wireless microphone test, and because you need to have it plugged into DC power, like an outlet or whatever, I didn't really have a way of doing that. So that was like the only con from my personal experience. Again, this is more of a stationary, set it up once and you're good for a while kind of deal. But I do know that there is a loop around, if you will, for making it mobile. If you buy a DC powered or DC accessible power bank and carry that around with you, like in your backpack or something, that will charge us long enough to go outside and make a video. Or if you're outdoors and you don't have an outlet, you just need to get like a really big power bank with DC power, and that'll power it for a while. But that's going to be it for this video. If you're interested in either the podcast or this product, both are going to be linked in the description box below. And let me know what you think. How did the microphone sound? Which one did you prefer? Would you buy this? Here's my suggestion. If you only have $86 and you're looking for a wireless kit, I would recommend this product. I do enjoy it, and I will use it later on in the future for YouTube stuff, podcast stuff, a bunch of variety of things. I'm always looking for new gear to test out and check out and improve my video making. So thank you very much for watching. FiFine, thank you for the K038 to review, and hope you enjoyed. If you have any feedback, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.